My friends, tonight we gather in Detroit, a city that knows struggle, a city that knows resilience, and a city that knows the power of rising again when others count you out. When that song played, Lose Yourself, it wasn't just music. It was a reminder that every single one of us has a moment. A moment where doubt knocks on the door, fear whispers in the ear, and the easy path is to sit back. But the harder path, the greater path, is to seize the moment, to not let it slip away. This campaign, this movement, is about exactly that. It's about believing that our best days aren't behind us. They're right in front of us, waiting to be claimed if we're willing to fight for them. Detroit is more than just a name on a map, more than just the Motor City, more than just a place where factories once roared and music poured out of Motown studios. Detroit is a story. It is the story of resilience written in steel, in sweat, in sacrifice. There were times when the lights dimmed, when the streets grew quiet, when the world looked at this city and said it was finished. Factories closed, jobs left, and entire neighborhoods bore the scars of abandonment. And yet, the people of Detroit never surrendered. They didn't pack up and give in. They dug deeper. They reinvented themselves. They found new ways to build, to create, to keep moving forward when every headline told them to stop. You see, Detroit embodies the spirit of perseverance that runs through the veins of this country. It is the story of families who work double shifts on the assembly line, not just to put food on the table, but to give their children a chance to dream bigger than they ever could. It is the story of communities that came together when resources were scarce, of neighbors sharing what little they had, of churches that opened their doors to shelter the hopeless and give them hope again. Detroit teaches us that collapse does not define destiny. Struggle does not define identity. What defines us is the will to rise again, the courage to stand when we have every reason to fall, the belief that tomorrow can be brighter than today if we keep on pushing. When that beat dropped, when the first words of that song echoed through the air, it wasn't just music filling the space. It was a surge of energy, a reminder, a call. Lose Yourself has always been more than a song. It is an anthem for anyone who has ever stood at the edge of doubt, staring into the unknown, deciding whether to take the leap or play it safe. It tells us that life doesn't hand us endless chances. It tells us that the moment you're in right now, the opportunity standing in front of you, might be the only shot you get. And when you hear it, you feel it, your heart beats faster, your spine straightens, because deep down, you know its true chances come and go. But courage decides whether we rise or whether we fade away. That song connected to people in Detroit because it was born out of Detroit. It carries the grit, the hunger, the toughness of a city that refuses to quit. And at that rally, it became more than campaign music. It became a message to every single person listening. It said, you cannot wait for the perfect moment. You must claim the imperfect one and make it yours. You cannot wait for someone else to build your dream. You must fight for it with both hands. You cannot wait for change to arrive neatly wrapped. You must demand it, push for it, and be willing to risk failure to find victory. Every generation comes to a crossroads, a moment where history asks a question and waits for an answer. That question is never easy, and the answer is never guaranteed. It demands courage, sacrifice, and the willingness to step into the unknown. The rally in Detroit carried that weight because this moment we are living in is not ordinary. It is decisive. It is the kind of moment that will be remembered, not for the comfort it offered, but for the choices it demanded. When we say, seize the moment, we are not speaking in abstract terms. We are talking about the kind of urgency that refuses to let fear dictate the future, the kind of urgency that recognizes hesitation as a luxury we cannot afford. History has always been shaped by those who chose to act when the moment called. Think about it. Progress was never handed down politely. It was claimed by those who refused to wait, by those who refused to accept that things had to remain the way they were. At every turning point, there were voices telling people to sit back, to be patient, to wait until the time was right. But the truth is, the time is never right until someone makes it right. And when people rise together, when they recognize that history rewards boldness, that is when the tide shifts. At the heart of every campaign, at the heart of every movement, there are not slogans, not speeches, not even rallies. At the heart of it all are people, real people, the kind who wake up before dawn, lace up their boots, and head off to work knowing the weight of their family rests on their shoulders. The kind who sit at a kitchen table late at night, bills spread out in front of them, trying to figure out how to stretch one paycheck far enough to cover rent, groceries, and medicine. The kind who carry hope quietly, who don't make headlines, who don't demand attention, but who are the backbone of this nation. This rally was for them. It was for the workers who clock in and out every day, often unseen, often underappreciated, yet vital to everything we are. It was for the parents who sacrificed their own dreams so their children might chase bigger ones. It was for the students who balanced 2 jobs and a stack of textbooks, daring to believe that education will open doors their parents never had the chance to walk through. It was for the communities who have heard over and over again that they're forgotten, left behind, written off, and yet they still rise, still fight, still believe. Hope has always been the lifeblood of this nation. It is what carried immigrants across oceans with nothing but a suitcase and a dream. It is what pushed workers onto factory floors, believing their sweat could build something lasting for their families. It is what gave young people the courage to march in the streets when they were told to sit down and be quiet. Hope is not a soft word, it is a powerful force. And nowhere is that force more alive than in a city like Detroit, because Detroit knows what it means to fall. It knows what it means to see jobs vanish, to see neighborhoods emptied, to see families pack up because they felt like there was nothing left for them. But Detroit also knows what it means to rise, to see new businesses spring up in old buildings, to hear music echo through streets once silent, to watch a new generation of workers and dreamers take the stage and declare, "We are still here." Detroit is proof that renewal is possible. That decline does not have to be destiny, that when people refuse to surrender, no setback can be permanent. And that spirit, that defiance, is what this campaign is built on. It says to every family struggling right now, your story is not over. It says to every community written off by politicians and pundits, your future is not behind you, it is ahead of you. It says to every child looking around and wondering if opportunity still exists, yes, it does, and it belongs to you. The rally reminded people that hope is not an IRV, it is necessary. Without it, we cannot endure. With it, we can move mountains. There comes a time when listening is not enough, when clapping is not enough, when nodding your head in agreement is not enough. There comes a time when you must move your feet, lift your voice, and put your hands to work. That rally in Detroit was not meant to be the finish line. It was meant to be the spark. Because change has never come from the sidelines. It has never come from those who sit back and hope someone else will carry the load. Change comes when people decide that they, too, have a role to play. That night the message was clear: the future is not written by a handful of people at the top. It is written by all of us together. Every vote cast, every conversation had, every neighbor encouraged, every door knocked on, These are the strokes of the pen that shape history. And when thousands stood in that crowd, when they raised their voices to the rhythm of that anthem, it was as if they were making a promise that they would not let this moment pass them by, a promise that they would not wait for someone else to fix what they have the power to fix themselves. So the call rang out, do not wait, do not sit down, do not let fear or fatigue silence you. Stand up, step forward, and claim your role in the story being written right now. Because if we don't answer the call, if we let the moment slip, history will not pause for us. But if we rise, if we act, if we give everything we have, then years from now, when our children and grandchildren ask us what we did when the stakes were high, we will be able to look them in the eye and say with pride, we showed up. We stood strong. We did not let the moment pass. And so, my friends, as the lights dim and the echoes of that anthem fade into the night, let us remember what it stirred within us. This is our time. This is our shot. Not tomorrow, not someday, but here now. The story of Detroit teaches us that no setback is final, no challenge too great when people refuse to give up. And tonight we carry that truth in our own hands. The question before us is simple. Will we seize this moment or will we let it pass? The answer lies not in speeches, not in promises, but in what we choose to do when we leave this place, because the power is not out there somewhere. It is right here in each of you. So let us rise together. Let us fight together. Let us build together. And when history looks back on this moment, let it be said that we were the ones who stood tall, who did not falter, who believed that a brighter tomorrow was possible and made it real. This is our moment. Let's not lose it. Let's claim it. Let's live it. And let's win it together.